All right, well, thank you guys so much for being here. Some friendly faces, some new faces. It's really a privilege to be able to be here and speak about things that I think about all the time, literally that we're living and breathing and trying to build for, and I know you guys are all doing that also. A little bit closer. Okay, cool. And so I'm going to spend a few minutes today talking about AI and shadows, specifically job shadows, and how we can use those to make real-world learning more inclusive. But first I want to start with a little bit of a story. So I still remember when my oldest son got old enough to help me bake. I have a weekly baking tradition. Usually it happens ungodly early on Friday mornings because that's when we're awake. And I work one-on-one with him. We talk about like how long does it take the dough to rise, or how many teaspoons are in a tablespoon, what makes cookies chewy, and I can answer every single one of his questions, adjust my explanation to match his understanding, watch his face light up as he understood something, and it was really just a great one-on-one bonding experience. And then, as life has it, 17 months later, my daughter was born. A little bit later, she was ready to bake with us too, and all of a sudden, all that good one-on-one attention was totally gone. My son would get bored when I was explaining the same stuff to my daughter. She was absorbing the basics. He was ready for some more advanced, quote-unquote, for a 4-year-old. And I found myself splitting attention, sometimes, to be honest, giving my daughter a toy to entertain herself while I was trying to meet his needs on like a higher level. And then, luckily, when my third kid came along a few years later, we had someone else in the kitchen with us. We had Alexa, and I'm sorry if anyone's watching this later and I just got your smart speaker to go crazy. But all of a sudden, we have the ability for my kids to be learning on their own level because it wasn't just me. We had an AI smart assistant helping us. So my oldest could be asking more advanced questions. My younger could be asking those teaspoons. My daughter's very into designing, like cakes and cookies, so she could ask those questions. Each child could really pursue their own learning path. They wouldn't get bored and they wouldn't get left behind. And what was happening in my kitchen, this like revolution that we started seeing, is really what's happening in education and specifically in talent and development. We're really moving from this one-size-fits-all approach to personalized learning journeys, and AI is not just helping, but it's really making it possible at scale. So think about how we traditionally welcome young people or career changers into a workforce or a new job. Internships still remain kind of the gold standard for professional exposure, but they come with significant barriers. So according to Sutton Trust, over 40% of internships are still unpaid. And for those unpaid internships to be in a major city, there's $6,000 of living expenses, hidden costs that might come over the cost of a summer. So what are we really selecting for? Are we selecting for talent, or are we selecting for privilege? But now we have a bit of an ability to broaden the scope. Job shadows, which we think of as a modern-day virtual apprentice, so learning from real-world work, can be the start of this solution. They're not outdated curriculum, they're not curated experiences per se, but they're a video-first view into someone's day-to-day job that you can access from anywhere, from any geographic location. Anyone with any economic access can be there on their computer watching someone do their job, and they're time efficient because they're not curated, so they're really a view into different careers, and you can get a broader exposure than at a traditional internship. So just like in my kitchen, where you can engage on for different topics that interest you, you can really use these job shadows to do that. What I love about AI as it complements job shadows is the ability to really personalize. And so this is something that, as we think about building an AI tutor to supplement job shadows, we think about all the time. A high school student might need background on the industry basics, while a career changer might need deeper dives into how to transfer those transferable skills. A first-generation professional might benefit from cultural context, while someone with different learning style or abilities might prefer information delivered in shorter, more engaging segments. And for the first time, we can do that with the same job shadow and the same content. And to me, that's just mind-blowing and why I've chosen to think a lot about it and talk to you guys about it today. So the implications are profound. By combining human expertise of professionals with scaling and personalizing capabilities, we can finally, for the first time, create learning experiences that adapt to the individual versus the individual adapting to the learning experience. We're democratizing access while also optimizing outcomes for each individual. So in a world where technological change is accelerating and career paths are increasingly nonlinear, we can actually meet those needs. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and probably everyone in this room knows this stat, that starting with like millennial generation and beyond, people will be in 12 to 15 different jobs or careers throughout, right? I see lots of nods, this is not new. But those careers are not going to be linear. In fact, they're actually going to be quite distinct from each other, certainly now where the half-life of skills is getting shorter and shorter. And for the first time, we can actually use job shadows and AI-enhanced personalization to help folks transition in real time. So back in my kitchen, I've watched something beautiful emerge from our AI assistant baking sessions, although like real talk, my kids fight all the time. So it's beautiful and also real. My daughter can focus on what she loves, my son can be experimenting, and my youngest can learn the basics of like the math of baking. And they're all learning to bake, but they're all doing it in a way that honors their unique interests and learning styles. They're not competing for attention and resources, usually they still do, but they're really flourishing in their own learning environment, and honestly, it's quite delicious. And so this is the future of learning that I envision for all of us. A future of learning that honors uniqueness and honors the unique way that success will look for every professional throughout their career, where AI-enhanced job shadows can help be a universal adapter for individuals to these careers that they're going to transition into, where technology can really amplify humanity, but really in the end, just like in my kitchen, everyone has their own recipe for AI-powered success. Thank you so much for listening.